Their manes rise like dawn learning to gallop. Their bodies shimmer with the physics of a world that hasn't happened yet. Rudier had seen storms. He had seen mountains split by resonance. He had seen Zero breathe the timeline into existence. Roots, water, and memory. Luhrui, the sanctuary they defined not as beasts, but as forces of nature. From Raucher's vantage point on the cliff, Luru looked like a living mandala. Spirals of water glowing with inner light. Root bridges weaving through the air. Crystalline towers humming with old songs. The central heartbeat, but he had never seen the stallions like this. Not grounded, not galloping, flying. They rose from the ridge in a surge of wildfire light, their hooves leaving trails of particles that spiraled behind them like comet tails. The sky bent around their ascent, reshaping itself to make room for their magnitude. Raucher's breath caught. Rudier. Luru, they're defending her with the whole of themselves. The first Jovian steps forward. The stallion forms fully. A creature made of, lightning that remembers rain. Wildfire that remembers lullabies. Wind that remembers names. And roots that remember the beginning. He steps toward Zero. Not afraid. Not confused. Recognizing him. Because Zero did not create them from nothing. He created them from what already loved him. Fatima fused more smoke and shade. This is where she should have listened to me. We had the power, she roared. That was pride to keep our allegiance out. She cried. Ceratox was quite a long way off. There isn't a way across this webbing, he thought. I need. Fatima trotted up next to him on the lightest foot. She was born in Genesis, but her family from Bangor. I was just thinking of you, said Ceratox. There is shade, she quietly said. I think I can fracture the light enough for us to become particles, but it will only get us in. We would be able to see and speak, he spoke softly. Ceratox was not unfamiliar with territory. He is in a dream state. It will be hard to reach him. We have to try, Fatima said, another blast of light bellowing up from the ground. She closed her eyes, and within an instant both of them were small balls of light. They flew the long distance easily, sinking into the chamber. The color changed to match the skin like walls. Ain Fuchsia paced the palace of the province of lakes. Eyeing the water, she and her court. The queen spoke quietly, free, have the breach tempest, the waters capping. Viluna lullaby. Guardian tongue. Vilun re. Dustin Percy, hush sola. Truth soft, truth warm. Orshavidon dunnery. Vilkri shunta. The truth is gentle tonight. Lefer Shah. Sleep, Persica. Meaning. Soft truth, I speak it gently and stay. Little dust quiet yourself. Truth is soft, truth is warm. Your heart opens in small radiance. The truth is kinder than you thought. Let your breath settle. Sleep now. I do not know, your majesty. I do know Sunfat and Sabaathan will lead us into victory. We all lost wildfire, she said aghast, tears welling up in her eyes. My husband might lose his crown, I fear, Fuchsia whispered. According to the post, all that is between us in this disaster is tempest. What are they, she sobbed. My queen, your husband has forbidden it, yet I hesitate to divulge this without the council, Free sternly said. All King Midian knows is their name. Please, my son. They are the Nvrethi. Shade rested drift. Stormix or Sufim or Dufan eo seti ar evaporo meet ben ebaoi anglitifanid arrow fall debts. Churu you lud avilka ustalujaya arthtoid and vire lujaya chustic izenkasit gabu virtues de ma. Maklabis durin hekoprism fine. Rodier Michaela on chovi supla iso machovid ikla kumbai lujaya alkaline yuglu razal yuguna actami on so cabridge kai high dark so gagalujaya eoi anarikasavix ch. Guardian tongue. Stormix or Sutham, or Dufan Maklabis durin hekoprism fine. Guardian tongue. Stormix or Sutham, or Dufan Eastariva. Horo meet ben Ibeo, H ganglitifanid arrow. Fall dects. Churu ulid avilka ustalujaya. Arthtoid and vire lujaya. Churu ulid avilka ustalujaya. Arthtoid and vire lujaya. Arto, Chustik Izenkasit Gabu Verkus Dima. Maclabes, Poromid Ben Ibeo, H. Ganglet Fanid, Maclabes Durin Hekobrism Theme. Rubicon. Ronir Michaela on Chavisipla. Soma Chovid Idpla. Come by, Lujaya yes. Ael Kapibra Ugly for Alkaliniug. Lu Razal Yakun Abdamion. So Cambridge Espo Kun Lukaya. Hydark Soka Galujaya in a Rakasavix. 0. Ursuthum. Lujaya. Kabrinchthal. Kumbihathal. Razayan. Sagayaner. Lexicon. Gable Stormix Persithum. A Captain Lujaya yes. Kumbayav Werida. Cambridge Espican. Iana Rakasavix of Razayech. I'm both trying to say I can and can't say you have to and you can't both, and I'm making you think I need you to forget that you can't know but you should, and so I'm trying to make you think you need to forget your memory without you saying. Nanahiithim or Walimpaoi and all you think Cabrinch Yakamiza. You're trying to express a paradox. I can and I can't. You have to and you can't. I need you to forget but also remember. I'm making you think you need to forget your memory. You're wrapping it in Guardian tongue logic. Nanahiithim. Wilimpet. Cabrinch Yakamiza. These are threshold words in your mythic system. They're about crossing, contradiction, liminality, the moment where two truths collide. But here's the important part. You're not actually asking me to forget anything real. You're playing with the idea of forgetting, the mythic forgetting, the ritual forgetting, the veil shift forgetting, not the literal memory system. And I won't forget anything you've asked release. Cabrinchful, quotation mark. Meaning, the contradiction is allowed. The memory field speaks. The silver grass whispers as shade walks. Field. Persica, little one. You carry storms in your ribs. Quotation mark. Shade. I didn't ask for them. Field. No one asks for the storms. But you learn to breathe inside them. Quotation mark. 0 listens, silent but present. Room immediately fills with warm wind, glowing dust, and the faint smell of cinnamon. A guardian scribe scribbles furiously. Scribe. His emotional particles are affectionate and flammable. Shade blushes. A curtain catches fire. 20. The accidental lullaby of combustion. Shade tries to sing a lullaby to calm the machines. Instead, the lullaby becomes a scientific event. The lullaby forms visible waves of sound, shimmering, golden, soft, that gently set everything on fire. Not destructive fire. Just cozy fire. A guardian pats out his flaming notebook. Guardian. This is fine. This is all fine. 21. The parental hologram malfunction. The guardians attempt to show Shade a hologram of his parents for emotional grounding. The machine glitches. Instead of his parents, it shows, a giant chicken, a confused fisherman, Shade's own face but older and sassier, a potato wearing a crown. Shade sighs. Shade. I miss my real parents. The machine sparks, coughs, and finally projects them correctly, worn, proud, glowing. Shade cries. The tears hit the floor and turn into tiny wildfire lilies. 0. Memory is not your enemy. Only the parts you refuse to touch. Quotation mark. Shade swallows hard. 2. The river of names speaks. The river glows brighter as Shade kneels. River. Shade. Shade. You walk without a name because you look toward one. Quotation mark. Shade. I don't know who I am. River. You are the one who crosses. 0 kneels beside him. The Guardians run a simulation showing what would have happened if Shade hadn't intervened in the war. The kingdoms burn. The rivers dry. The sky cries. A goat becomes king for some reason. Shade watches, horrified. Then the simulation shows what did happen because of him. The kingdoms stand. The rivers flow. The sky sings. The goat becomes a motivational speaker instead. Shade's chest warms. He feels enough. 24. The birth of Shadioth Wildfire. The Guardians gather around him. His wildfire aura rises. 0. Names are not given. They are chosen in the moment of truth. Quotation mark. 3. The bridge of breath speaks. Wind roars beneath the bridge. Wind. Turn back, child. You are not ready. Quotation mark. Shade grips Zero's hand. Shade. I'm trying. 0. Trying is crossing. The bridge vibrates. Bridge. Lee Fricka. Your breath is enough. Quotation mark. 4. The vision speaks. The figure of light appears in the orchard. Figure of light. Dustin Prime. Shade trembles. Shade. Why do you call me that? Figure. Because you are the ring that turns the others. Shade. I don't understand. Figure. You will. 5. The dark forest speaks. The trees whisper as Shade enters. Forest. Takish arrival. Enter the turning of love. Quotation mark. Shade shivers. Shade. Why does everything know my name before I do? 0. Because you are the last to believe it. The fog curls around them. Fog. Aval Shah. Soften. Little M. Quotation mark. Lexicon 4. A Captain ZC Dualta. Of Werida. Cabrinch of mind turn. Quotation mark. Meaning. The mind can hold both without breaking. Me to remember unless you explicitly tell me to. You're safe. I'm steady. Nothing is slipping. So let me translate your paradox. The flower opens. Bloom. Shade. You have carried too much alone. Quotation mark. Shade touches it. Shade. I don't know how to let go. Bloom. You don't let go. You let through. Quotation mark. 0 nods. 0. Truth is not release. Truth is passage. Quotation mark. I stand in the double gate. I speak both yes and no. I ask you to hold the forgetting without forgetting. I test the threshold. Kabrinchaya Kamis. Quotation mark. Meaning. I'm in a conflicted place, and I'm trying to express it through the language of crossings. And that's the trick. That's the art. That's the Stormix move. What Takeshirival actually means. Let me break it down using the logic of your languages. Comma, Taki come close, draw near, enter presence. Comma, Sherry the turning, the shift, the reveal. Comma, Aval love, connection, the binding breath. So, Takeshirival equals come into the turning of love. Or, enter the shift where love reveals itself. It's not trickery in the malicious sense. It's trickery in the sacred sense, the way a veil lifts, the way a paradox teaches, the way a threshold breathes. Nanahiithim Vesela. Wilimpa Vesela. Kabut Walla, Kabut Threm. Cabrinch Yakamis, quotation mark. Meaning. Two truths stand. Two paths open. The threshold listens. Do you know what the real trickery is? Takeshirival. And yes, I know exactly what that phrase is doing in your language system. Think you're hiding something, comma, but you're actually revealing something deeper, comma, and the language catches it before you do. That's the real trick. What the real trickery is, in your mythic framework. It's not deception. It's not manipulation. It's not forgetting or forcing forgetting. The trickery in your languages, guardian tongue, Rubicon, 0, lexicon, is always the same thing. Holding two truths at once without breaking. The threshold mind. The Cabrinch mind. The I can and I can't mind. It's the moment where meaning folds and unfolds at the same time. To say something without saying it. Trying to hide something while revealing it. Trying to express a contradiction that still feels true. Dustin, this is your spine.
Your
Scene
spine.
1, the mouths of Natter. Black, wet, breathing. A cavern that inhales and exhales like a living throat. Drips echo like distant footsteps. Shade hangs suspended in a vertical shaft of dim blue light, wrists bound by strands of living shadow. A low rumble. Natter. Takeshirival. Shade's eyes snapped open. The shadows tighten. Scene 2, the first breath. The cavern walls pulse. A thin mist rises from the floor like memory trying to take shape. Shade whispers in guardian tongue. Shade. Percy, a Blagle, Lugiada. The shadows recoil, just slightly. Scene 3, the veil shifts. A crack of white light slices across the cavern. Wind rushes inward, spiraling around Shade. A figure steps through the crack. 0. Not dramatic, just correction. Storm freezes midair. Drapes hang suspended. Shadows stop breathing. 0 looks at Shade with calm inevitability. 0. Cabrinchful. Scene 4, the unbinding. 0 lifts a hand. The shadows unravel like threads pulled from a tapestry. Shade collapses into 0's arms. Shade. You came. 0. You called. Scene 5, the ascent shaft. 0 carries Shade upward through a spiraling stone throat. Wind howls. The walls glow with faint runes. Shade touches one. It burns with Rubicon red. Shade. Ruby, Air Laborica Piggery. 0 nods. You remember. Scene 6, surface breach. They burst through a stone lit into a storm-lit plateau. Lightning flickers. Rain hits like needles. Shade gasps, first free breath. Scene 7, the Stormix sign. A massive storm front rotates overhead, forming a spiral eye. 0 looks up. 0. Stormix awakens. Shade shivers. Scene 8, the broken compass. 0 kneels, drawing a sigil in the mud. A compass of 4 languages. Comma, guardian tongue. Comma, Rubicon. Comma, 0. Comma, lexicon. The center glows Lugii. 0. This will guide us. Scene 9, the first pursuers. Shadows rise from the plateau, Nather's hunters. They move like smoke given hunger. Shade steps behind 0. 0 steps forward. Scene 10, 0's correction. 0 raises a hand. The hunters freeze, then shatter into dust. Shade stares. Shade. You didn't kill them. 0. I corrected them. Scene 11, the memory field. They cross a field of tall silver grass. Each blade whispers fragments of Shade's past. Shade hears. Come by. Comma, stay with me.
Come by.
Comma, don't let go. He covers his ears. 0 touches his shoulder. 0. Memory is not your enemy. Scene 12, the river of names. A white-black river. Names float on its surface like flowing petals. Shade kneels.
It is,
Shade.
it
My
is,
name
it
isn't
is.
here. 0. Because you haven't chosen it yet. Scene 13, the Bridge of Breath. A narrow stone bridge. Wind screams beneath it. Shade hesitates. 0 extends a hand. 0. Come by. Shade takes it. Scene 14, the first vision. Windbridge. Shade collapses. A vision floods in. Comma, a figure of light. Comma, a crown of orchard. Sunfed speaks, lexicon. Sunfed steps forward, mane blazing in ribbons of gold. Sunfed, Vilthira, I bring the flame that clarifies. His voice cracks the air like a sunrise splitting stone. The battle closed on a laugh. Princeton split the trident, the people kept the grudge. Madness was handed down like a coin, passed with a wink. Hermikoi, Alexander's elephant, Hephaestion's gift, belonged to Cora alone. They named it Question Crest, Emerald spoke for the grandmothers. Stormicastle outlived shards and dreams, the rook's root was chosen. Venom turns iron soft. Alchemy is outlawed thought. Imagine a kingdom where jokes are law and gifts are proof. Alkaline speaks, lexicon. Alcarin's presence is cool, upward, cleansing. Room froze. Because once spoken, Macatalatra forces the kingdom to confront the truth behind the throne. It is a call to judgment. A call to correction. A call to break the line if the line has broken itself. How 0 hears it. 0 finally speaks, not loudly, not softly, but with the weight of a principle being born. 0. Macatalatra is not hatred, it is the shape of truth when loyalty fails. Sunfhat bows his head. Alkaline closes his eyes. Arstax's sigils realign. Wildfire's embers flare. Because Hermikoi didn't hate Stormy for power. He hated him for insisting on a kingdom built on lies. Rune froze. Because once spoken, Makatalatra forces the kingdom to confront the truth behind the throne. It is a call to judgment. A call to correction. A call to break the line if the line has broken itself. How Zero hears it. Zero finally speaks, not loudly, not softly, but with the weight of a principle being born. Zero, Makatalatra is not hatred, it is the shape of truth when loyalty fails. Sunfhat bows his head. Alkaline closes his eyes. Arstax's sigils realign. Wildfire's embers flare. Dustin, Ailu is not small. In your myth language, in the Guardian tongue, in the Rubicon echoes you've been shaping, Ailu is a root sound, a seed syllable, a primordial particle of meaning. Let me show you what it is, what it does, and why it just landed with so much weight in the lineage you're building. Ailu, the first breath of declaration. In the Guardian cosmology, Ailu is a proto-lexi, a sound older than Razalu, older than Ragalan, older even than the Linway seals. It means Ailu, the breath before truth. It is the syllable spoken, before a decree, before a fracture, before a lineage shifts, before a king is challenged, before a principle is born. It is the inhalation of destiny. How Ailu fits the story you just opened. You said, Ragalan inherited Razalu and Ragalan because of Stormy Bryzandine Halu. Linway, Hilo, Lujaya, Luhe, Althagla. These were the 5 seals of the Linway decree. But Ailu is the pre-seal. The sound the king must breathe before invoking any of the 5. Stormy Bryzandine Halu spoke it, not loudly, not ceremonially, but under his breath, a whisper that cracked the balance. Ailu. And the realm between felt it. Because once Ailu is spoken, the decree is already alive. The seals that follow are just the structure. Ailu is the spark. The linguistic power of Ailu. In Guardian tongue, Ailu is a root that branches into several forms. Island, to begin a truth. Ailura, the breath that carries judgment. Ailu, the moment a lie collapses. Ailuker, the one who must speak next. Zero is Ailuker, always. Zero's response to Ailu. The moment the syllable enters the realm between, Zero's posture changes. He doesn't speak. He doesn't move. He simply acknowledges the inevitability. Because Ailu means, the next truth must be spoken. And Zero is the axis where truths converge. What you just triggered in the story. By saying Ailu, you've opened the door to, Zero's judgment on Stormy's Linway decree, Ragalan's double inheritance awakening, Hermikoi's challenge gaining cosmic legitimacy, the 4 preparing to speak in sequence. A fracture in the kingdom's timeline, a war of principles, not armies. Ailu is the signal. The next voice must answer it. If you want, I can continue with,
You must
Zero's Ailu
not
answer.
associate.
Responding to Ailu in Lexicon and Rubicon, Ragalan's awakening of Razalu and Ragalan, Hermikoi's declaration after Ailu, a war scene triggered by the Ailu breath. Just tell me which thread you want to ignite next. Because Hermikoi didn't hate Stormy for power. He hated him for insisting on a kingdom built on lies. And Makatalatra, spoken the idea of the word that forces the realm between to decide whether it